This is Sales Management Mastery, Episode 11.
Welcome to Sales Management Mastery, where you get an insider's look on how to build, motivate, coach, and lead a high-performance, low-maintenance sales team. Here's your host, Ralph Burns.
Hello and welcome to Sales Management Mastery Online at salesmanagementmastery.com. And we're here to help you build a highly motivated elite sales team using real-world sales management techniques that'll unleash a flood of new sales for your sales organization. On this episode of Sales Management Mastery, we give you 3 proven techniques to reestablish trust with your salespeople so that you can supercharge your sales revenues. And I'd like to remind you that if you'd like to get a jump start on creating your own team of supercharged salespeople using our proven system, you can claim your free training course of your choice, including our most popular training of all time, How to Motivate Your Sales Team to Peak Performance, at the Sales Management Mastery Academy by going to salestraininggift.com. Okay, so let's admit it. Your sales reps hate it when you call them. Admit it, that they dread the completely unsolicited, not you returning their phone call from you. And they hate it because it means only one thing for them, which is typically more work. So you say something like this: if you wouldn't mind, we have a really short time frame on this, but I need you to get me X, or I need you to email me with a report on your activities for the past week, or I need you to any number of sales management bits of information that you might need for a higher level sales meeting, or maybe for your boss or your boss's boss. And you'll typically just launch into whatever it is that you need from them without any real idle chit chat or any of that kind of stuff, and just start demanding whatever information you need. And I know that you probably do this, and your sales managers do this, and we all do it because our lives are busy and we've got a lot of demands on us, and we've got a boss breathing down our neck to continue to push sales in the right direction and drive new sales revenues. So here's a crazy twist. Have you ever just called any of your salespeople just out of the clear blue and just asked them if there's anything that you can do for them? Now, most of them would probably just die from shock when you called. And I'd be willing to bet that they're so used to you calling them to tell them to do something. And even if they may not even pick up the phone just to begin with, because they see that you're the one that's calling in, that because of that, their reaction will just be positively priceless, and priceless in a good way. So turn the tables and make some serious deposits in the trust account. Or if you feel that you don't have the trust of your salespeople, to reestablish trust, or maybe establish it right from the beginning, is to use the following technique. So the first time that you do it, they're going to be just completely flabbergasted, and they probably really won't know what to say, but that'll actually be a really good indication that you should probably keep doing it on a semi-regular or maybe somewhat irregular basis. Because remember that the most important parts of the trust account, and we've talked about this in previous shows, is reinforcing the concept that both you and they are actually wanting the same exact thing. And namely, you want them to be as successful as they can possibly be. Because if they're successful, then you're successful. So it's just kind of that simple. So here's the how I can help you phone call and how it would sort of go. So you would call up your salesperson. You say, hello, Sandy. This is Ralph. And Sandy, your salesperson, would say, oh, hi, Ralph. What's going on? And you would say, well, nothing much. I just had a few minutes, and I just wanted to call and see if you needed help with anything. And typically, Sandy, in this case, and I have used this in a number of situations, they are obviously the first time you ever do it, they get into a absolute state of shock, and they don't really know what to tell you, but they'll think of something eventually. But Sandy might say something like, I just don't think so, but well, actually there is something I'd like to discuss with you. So maybe it's not something specifically that they can do for you, but at least you are reaching out to them, because that's usually not what happens in sales leadership or in leadership in general. There's none of that putting your hand down to raise people up. And salespeople really do appreciate this. And if you're having issues with trust, and I know some of our members, email me and ask me about specific techniques in addition to the stuff that we teach inside the academy. But trust is a really important part of you as a sales manager, is to establish trust. Or if you have either lost trust or maybe things have happened along the course of your career with your specific salespeople, this is a great opportunity for you to reestablish trust. So turn the tables and make some serious deposits in the old trust account in the process of doing this. And the first time you do it, they'll be so flabbergasted they probably won't know what to say. But nonetheless, that'll be a great indication that you should do it on a more regular basis. So a quick story on this one. When I was actually writing this podcast, I was thinking about one of the incidences when I actually did use this, and I tried it on one of my salespeople a while back, and it had the exact desired effect of what we're talking about here. And I didn't do it all that often, but when I did do it, it was a tremendous way to build up trust and to keep them motivated by the same token. So after I had done that call, she called me up and she said to me, I have never had a manager ever call me just out of the blue and ask me if he could help me. And I'm so happy that you're my manager. And that's absolutely what she had said. So, and she was extremely motivated. We had a great degree of, or great deep and profound level of trust between the two of us. And these are the sorts of things that you can do on an ongoing basis, not only just to keep people jacked up, and jacked up out there and motivated in an environment right now, which is a difficult economic environment, but it also establishes trust or reestablishes trust between you and them. So our second technique is, if you screw up, just admit it. And a lot of us probably have this problem, is that you have difficulty admitting that you have made a mistake. And I'm not sure who this anonymous guy is, but whoever he is, I think he had a point. This is his quote here. He said, "More people would learn from their own mistakes if they weren't so busy denying that they had made them." So, which I think is a great quote. And the thing is, you actually build credibility by admitting that you've made a mistake. And I know it's really not an easy thing to admit, but as a sales manager who has crap thrown at him all the time, with the constant pressures to perform and bosses breathing down your neck to continue to move sales revenues in an upward trajectory, you're not going to get everything right all the time. And if you screw up, it's okay, because you can just admit it. And if you admit it outright to your salespeople, you actually build more trust and you keep them motivated because you become more and more transparent. And people like to work for people who are transparent and that they can identify with. And if you're an authoritarian or an authoritative